It is so important. As a parent, I see there's so much competition for the minds and hearts for kids. And we want to be sure that kids know that architecture is a relevant, a powerful, an amazing profession. We want to be sure that we are grabbing out there and getting kids interested no matter what corner of this country, no matter rich, poor, what background. We want to be sure that we're tapping into that talent and interest. And so we're here to explore best practices in K-12 design education. We want to empower you. If you're just learning about this committee and you want to do more in your community, or you have a firm that has K-12 design education, you've got the urge, the interest, the spark to do something more, we want to help you at least get you on that path.
This is an opportunity for many kids who really don't recognize that this even exists as an opportunity. And the only thing we have to do is light the fuse. And when we do that, you'll be surprised what explodes out of it. And then understanding our ethical responsibility as practitioners and professionals to build the next generation.
You know, you had something that was your passion for why you engaged in architecture. So if you can get that and if you can share that with students, that's what's very valuable for them. DLR Group in Skanska created a 16-week program where we had every single discipline from construction through architecture and engineering in the office. And they came one day a week, and then they worked within the office. And that was their digitally printed pencil holder that they all left with. So again, like it always is, these students are learning things that I don't even know how to do anymore. I look forward to the day when any of these students from the middle school, the high school, or the elementary level walks into the door and I find that they want to become an architect because we've done these things years ago.
A lot of the firms in town, I myself, I'm a partner in our firm, and I went through this in high school. So there's a lot of those people in AIA Toledo that have done that, gone through the process. We all understand what it took to do it and want to see it continue to grow.
This was focused towards the kids between 10 and 12 years old. We call it Construction City. How we do it, we do a 1-hour training for the teacher or for the parents. We require them to be there for it. So they go through the training, but also we have volunteers. In all, there's about a little over 100 volunteers that make this program successful. What you get from this is amazing.
What I tell people about Discover Architecture is that if you've ever heard of the dating service eHarmony, we like to think of ourselves as A-Harmony. So we're bringing architects in schools and trying to bring a happy marriage between those two entities. We are geographically and economically diverse in terms of our outcomes. We've also, a zany group of us, over 2.5 years, decided that we wanted to share our curriculum with not just school people, schools in Atlanta, but we wanted people nationwide to be able to create that 9-week program in their schools or even to do part of it in their community. So we developed this book called Discover Architecture, and YKK was so lovely to have incorporated it into their video 2 years ago called I Am an Architect, Discover Architecture.
This seems really simple, but what happens is this event actually facilitates a very beautiful journey. The students start off the day with sketching. What is this thing called sketching? Can I do this? Can I draw this art? And we finish the day with them presenting and asserting the fact that they can draw. They can do anything that their minds and hearts are set to do.
If we want to achieve the sort of cross-section of architects in the United States that we want, we need to start working at the younger ages. Like a lot of, I think, folks maybe struggle with is the notion of getting, it's one thing to offer camps at a $300 range to the general population, and it's another to try to get the populations that can't quite afford that. So we've started to engage sponsors, people who can sponsor a week of camp for students, and we work with the schools, and there's an application, and usually each student, we ask that a teacher also kind of sponsor that person and just sort of recommend them.
How many people went to Michelle Obama's talk yesterday and heard her speak? That is amazing, because what she said was really inspiring. When she talked about us having to be able to reach out into students and having kids know when they're not being appreciated. And I think that's what struck home to me, and that's why it's so inspiring to see everyone here talking about reaching out to the youth and knowing that they're appreciated and having them learn what architecture is.
How do we increase the minority numbers in our profession? How do we excite the next generation of minority architects? And it is with the younger generation, so that's why I'm extremely excited. But you see the numbers here. 1.5% of all registered architects in 2010 was African American. Of the 184,000, only 2.1% were African American employed architects. 0.01% of employed African American architects were actual entrepreneurs. Those are firm owners. Those are a dismal percentage, and the numbers haven't changed much. As we continue to come out of this recession, and architecture and AIA searches for how to reinvigorate the profession and ask what now, we offer that diversity and equity is the most important factor. It's key more than ever. We need every mind, every wonderful person to be excited about this. So you have to have programs and put the energy into programs like this that'll excite the next generation. The ACCI experience is a proven model, and we do one thing that's fairly unique that you probably haven't heard today. As a nonprofit, we pay our professors. We employ actual college professors to come in. Because it's a high school program, we want to ensure that our students are best prepared and immersed in the architectural environment to be successful.
A local artist was doing a discussion, and she said on a radio broadcast, we become what we see. That means if these kids don't see the opportunity to become part of a program like this and become an architect, they have no idea. So we're opening their eyes. We do pre and post assessments as part of this process because our curriculum is coordinated with Ohio's education standards, so it fits right into the teaching requirements that each one of these classrooms have. We're in 110 classrooms. 110 classrooms with 80 volunteers, and the key to that growth was having an education director and expanding the group of volunteers that we were working with. AIA Cincinnati has about 400 members. To get 80 volunteers, you need more than that 400 members. So we've opened it up to the construction and engineering communities and any design related field because we're teaching design thinking. That's the real value of this program. We are seeing some of our kids becoming professionals and becoming part of our world. So this picture says 1,000 words. This is what the program's about.
So we were established in 1995, and our goal is to engage, enlighten, and encourage young people to enter the industry of architecture, construction, or engineering. We're nationwide, coast to coast. We have 64 affiliates covering 40 states and about 200 cities. We reach about 8,000 young people a year nationwide with a group of 2,500 or so volunteers.
The next thing that happened was we learned about the Discover Architecture program, and it just so happened we were working on video at that time, and the theme of the video worked out with that mission. So we did this video. It was one of our most successful ones, and this kind of changed our thinking a little bit. So instead of being a marketing campaign, it started to be more of a platform to inspire, and we started seeing the content and how our Facebook page changed a little bit. People started asking questions and really dialoguing with each other, so it's been really cool to see that evolution.
We have this kind of a transition between the board saying, yea, verily, go forth and multiply, and actually having a full-time director of K-12 initiative on staff at AIA, which is huge. It is huge. The mission of the AIA K-12 initiative is to develop strategic partnerships, share instructional resources, and engage architects and educators while providing a more diverse group of young people with an early appreciation of architecture. The primary goal to get this thing rolling is to give students an opportunity to develop an appreciation for architecture and the role that architects play in shaping the built environment, very similar to some of the goals that you heard in these other programs.